Okay, thank you, everybody. And welcome to the regular regional council meeting for July the 8th. And I'll start by acknowledging the traditional territories of our friends and neighbors, Fort Nelson First Nation, as well as the Prophet River First Nation. We honor and celebrate the treaty and between Canada and the Treaty 8 Nations. We respect the and that's I respect it, and then I forgot what I wanted to say about it. That's not, yeah, the rights. We respect the rights that are inherent within the treaty, and of course we celebrate the continuing contributions and the enduring presence of the Métis people in our region. Are there any? Oh, sorry. Please be advised that tonight's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually, is being streamed and recorded. Are there any council additions to tonight's agenda? Non-staff, any addition?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. This brings us to 3 public comment period. Is there anybody online that wishes to comment on tonight's agenda? Is there anybody in the gallery who would like to? No? Okay. Adoption of the agenda is in order, please. Moved by Councillor Soul, second by Councillor Roper. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. There are 5 sets of minutes, I think. No, 4 sets of minutes, sorry. The Committee of the Whole from June the 10th, 2024. Regional Council, June 24th, 2024, the Committee of the Whole, June 2024, and the Special Regional Council, June 28th for adoption.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Roper. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Enox, thank you very much. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of adoption? Opposed? Carries. Okay. Is there any business arising or questions arising from those minutes? Okay, that brings us to, oh, I'm sorry. The 6.1 is the email poll for ratification. So letter of support for the Rural Community Immigration Pilot Project. So the resolution was that the NRM provide a letter of support for the application of Community Futures Peace Liard to Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada for the Peace Liard region of Northeast BC to host the Rural Community Immigration Pilot RCIP program. And that was approved by email. So it's just a matter of us ratifying that. So a motion to ratify, please.
So
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Roper. Thank you. Seconder. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Brings us to 7.1, which is administrative report number 34, which is the READY program Q2 report. Do you have anybody from staff who wishes to speak to this report?
Good evening, Mayor Fraser and council members. For those that may not know who I am, my name is Diana Penny, Regional Health Liaison with the NRM. Admin Report 34 provides the second quarterly report of the READY program and the relevant financial disbursements. So as you will see in the report, we had 6 recipients who received housing, 6 recipients who received utilities paid, 1 new recruit which received a welcome package, and 3 recipients received a financial incentive. And this is based on probationary period and return of service. And that is it. It's pretty short and sweet, but if you have any questions or concerns, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you for the report. I think it speaks for itself. It shows that the program is working the way I think council had intended, maybe better than the way council had it intended. And of course, the way you administer it is certainly helping it to become a good thing in the municipality. So thank you for all efforts that you're putting in. Is there anybody else that'd like to make a comment or question? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, 7.2 is the addendum package, which is excuse me, the CCTV inspection award to Unijet Industrial Pipe. Staff would like to speak to it.
Evening, Mayor and Council. So this was just our annual CCTV program opportunity that went out. We received 4 compliant submissions, with Unijet being the lowest, coming in at 296,000. So
You're comfortable with the quality of their work?
we haven't had them work for us before, but our engineers have had experience with them in the past and said they do good work.
Good, good.
They have no concerns with their.
Questions for Mr. Bostic? Please.
Just a question given that this is yearly recurring process here, or remind me, is this more, are there more applicants or more bidders on this time than there were last time?
Yes, yeah, I think, believe
time
last
was-
time we just had
I
two,
think it was two, right?
yeah, Northern
Yeah.
Lights and T2, I think were
Right,
the other
right.
two.
Any other comments or questions? What are council's wishes?
I would,
Dr. Roper?
I would move the recommendation that the 2024 CCTV inspection program project be awarded to Unijet Industrial Pipe LTD in the amount of $296,046 plus applicable fees and taxes.
Thank you. A seconder? Second by Counselor Souls? Okay. Further discussion? Seeing that, all in favor? Opposed? That passes. Thank you. Okay, so we don't have any correspondence for discussion today, but we have 5 pieces of correspondence for discussion, all of them letters that we have sent out for information. And moved by Counselor Enoch that we receive those for information. Do I have a seconder, please? Counselor Dickey? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. There are no new business items on tonight's agenda. That brings us to council reports. Does anybody have a report? Counselor Enoch, please.
Canada Day, July 1st, first time ever riding in the parade, throwing candy out the windows, and I didn't hit anybody. It was a lot of fun. Kids enjoyed themselves, and I think there was quite a few floats this year that we hadn't seen previous years. It's nice to see. After that, headed over to the rec center and helped Rotary with the hot dogs for a few hours. And this past weekend, spent 4 days out in the dust and dirt at the motocross track. We had heat. Rotary Friday night donated the hamburgers that were left over from the Welcome Home Barbecue that Co-op initiated with them. Donated them to the motocross, so we cooked all them up Friday night, handed them out free. The families were arriving. It was great. Nobody wanted to cook after driving all day. And then Saturday and Sunday, we continued to cook and feed everybody for the weekend. It was a great weekend. Probably 400 plus people out there.
Nice.
So yeah, it was really good.
Okay, I really have just one meeting that I had that I could report out on, and that was a request by Minister Ma actually to come and see her in Prince George. Yeah, so we spent about an hour together. Was good. We spoke about many things, obviously mostly about, our experience with the fire, and we talked a little bit about the emergency management, the new act and the regulations, and that, I was under the impression that we had, some difficulties with the new act, and because people just weren't sure because there's no new regulations to go with it. But Minister Ma was a little bit confused by that. She thought that, well, if there's no new regulations, you just go by the old regulations and keep using them. And so she didn't think that there should be a problem. But again, I put the plug in for Aaron to get onto that committee and to see if I could get the minister to, maybe put the finger on the scale a little bit. But she said that that's not something that they really wanted to do. They were trying to keep hands off because UBCM's looking after it, and they don't want to be seen to be tipping the scale in any way, shape, or form with respect to who's on there or what they talk about or anything. But we've got a couple of letters into UBCM to do our best to see if we can get Aaron on there, because from a rural remote community's perspective, us going through this last fire event with everything that happened in the new act, I think will give them some good insight if she sits on that committee. So I don't know, maybe the minister would, she said she couldn't tip the fingers, but I'm tip the scale, but I'm hoping she'll do something there. So UBCM's in charge of that. So we also talked about her staff and having somebody from Prince George EMCR staff actually being in the EOC, and that our staff believe that that's a best practice, that it gives people who don't do that very often direct contact with somebody at the province, right? So you don't have that, you're not wondering whether or not somebody's gonna get back to you. I mean, they might not have the answer for you, but at least you got immediate feedback that they're gonna do something or that you get your answer right away. So Minister said that they have been hiring more staff and that's certainly something that they're looking into. They do it in the north, but they don't do it in many of the other regions of the province. But certainly she appreciated us giving that feedback. And of course, I talked to the staff while we were down there, telling them what a great job as they were showing me around the building. Reemphasize that our communication with the BC Wildfire Service has been excellent this year, the way things have worked out for us. Just wanted to really make that plug that we can have, communities can have good working relationship with the BC Wildfire Service. Talked to her a little bit about the after action review that Scott talked about they're going to do on July the 22nd. She's very interested in what comes out of that. She asked if they were funding it, and I didn't know. Apparently they do fund a portion of it. We're looking in it much more detailed than I think from talking to Scott anyway, from what they normally do. But it'll be partial. And I guess $15,000 you said, right? So that's pretty significant. So I didn't realize that they were participating when I met with her, but I came back and asked, and sure enough, they are. So that was good. She was very thanked us for our leadership with respect to the First Nations participation. So she knew about that. Scott had put it in the notes that I had, but she already had said that she certainly appreciated us working together with the EOC of the First Nation, getting together early and doing what we could when we could to assist with the work that they were doing as well. I vented a little bit about the RCMP honor, though it's not her particular ministry. She recognized that Farnsworth is who we should be speaking to, and I said that we've already got a request to speak with him about the experience that we had, and on various levels with respect to evacuation and securing the community. She was very interested. We went on to BC Emergency Health Services and ambulance services in evacuation order areas. We all know that they are not allowed to operate in evacuation order area, but based on the relationship that I think we've built up with BCEHS since Christmas time, our staff, we were able to work with those staff, and we were able later in the order, we were able to get a car in here with another one on standby at Pink Mountain, which hasn't happened very often. But she was very interested in that whole process, and why would you need an ambulance? Everybody's supposed to be out, but everybody is not out. And there are people who choose to stay. There are people who are part of the voluntary operation, and then there are people who are working the fire line, and they need to have some help, and particularly some backup emergency help. It's one thing if the fire is in West Kelowna and you're just across the river with all your ambulances in Kelowna. It's quite a bit different when you're in Fort Nelson and your ambulances are 2.5 hours away at Pink Mountain or even further at Fort St. John. So she was certainly open-minded about that, and asked her staff to take some notes. That was something she was going to start looking into, figure out what's going on there. The children in the evacuation order area, and the fact that it's an absolute is, I told her that I get it when there's imminent risk of fire to the community, but once you're past that and you're at a safety risk to the community where you're bringing the community back up, so it's safe for people to come back to the community. All the services are in place. In a small community like ours, you can't lift evacuation order until you have the emergency services at the hospital, and you can't get emergency services at the hospital until you can get nurses. But we don't have enough nurses to do emergency service in the hospital who don't have children. So you're in a catch-22. You can't raise the order so you can get the nurses back, and you can't get the nurse back till you raise the order. So let her know that we were able to get in that last 2 days, we were able to get some clearance for that. And that's why some people saw children in the community before everybody got a chance to come back. And she certainly took some notes about that as well, because that was something that caused us grief. Everybody agrees children shouldn't be in the area when there's an imminent risk to the community, but in that transition, when people are coming back. We talked about Northern Health, fact that the evacuation went well. And the return plan, not so much. So she already knew about that because I'd talked to her, and we'd been talking to virtually everybody when we were concerned about whether we'd get that hospital up in a timely manner or not. And then finally, we talked about BC Hydro and recognizing the need that BC Hydro needs to fire smart their operations the same as everybody else in the province needs to fire smart their operations. Not in her domain, but it certainly if she takes it into cabinet, or if cabinet has a discussion about it, then certainly we've got a supporter there with respect to fire smarting right of ways, particularly in the province. So it was a very good discussion that we had. Like I said, it lasted well, a little bit more than an hour. Actually took some of the next mayor's opportunity to speak away, I suppose, but it was a very good conversation, and I apologized to him and thanked him when I went out the door, but yeah, it was very good. It was a well spent hour. It was worth the trip to Prince George to do that. So that after that, I just took some time and spent some time at a wedding with my nephew. It was awesome. Okay, I think that's all. Anybody else? Okay. There's no business outstanding that I'm aware of. Does anybody have a notice of motion? Okay, no, that brings us to item 12 then, which is public question and answer period. Is there anybody online? Questions? Okay, thank you. So I guess we can adjourn. Yeah, motion to adjourn. Moved by Counselor Enox, second by Counselor Dickey. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. We do have a little bit of time. We need to get back into a closed meeting for the committee of the whole. Thank you, everybody.